You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Hello, beautiful people. Happy Wednesday, happy Mercury day, and happy birthday to quite possibly one of the most famous Geminis, Kanye West. It also happens to be my dad's wife's birthday, so happy birthday to you, Olga. Frank Lloyd Wright would have celebrated a birthday today, Nancy Sinatra, Bonnie Tyler of Total Eclipse of the Heart. I've been playing that song a lot lately during eclipse season. Jerry Stiller would have had a birthday, Joan Rivers, lots of comedians and lots of artists, songwriters, rappers. Juliana Margulies, Barbara Bush, one of those jam-packed days with Gemini birthdays. And if it's your birthday, if someone you know is celebrating their solar return, let us know so we can celebrate them in our show today. So I have to ask, if you're joining me live, let me know, how's the energy feeling for you right now? Have you been feeling a little bit of transformation or energy shifting? That would be right on time, because yesterday we talked about the moon harmonizing with Uranus, which brings shifts, changes. Today, this morning, the moon formed that same angle to Pluto and Mercury. And so we'll dive into that in just a moment, but I'm just curious if anybody has had some insights or downloads or realizations, shifts that they want to share. That's kind of the energy we've been working with over the past 24 hours. And I'm also curious if anyone had any vivid or crazy dreams last night, because as we talked about yesterday, the moon opposed Neptune around midnight. And I know personally I woke up with an odd dream, not anything that was like very powerful, like, oh, this is indicative of what's going on in your life, but definitely more vivid dreams. Yes, definitely feeling the transformation. Good. Lean into it, girl. Like, you are right on time. And the thing is, transformation doesn't always feel nice, right? It can sometimes feel a little sticky, or like there are some issues or shadows we have to confront as we go through it. But it's all for our highest good. The past few days I've felt excited for no reason, happy for many reasons. I love that. You know, another byproduct of the moon forming a trine to Uranus is this level of excitement that we experienced yesterday. So I'm excited for you, Claudia. Totally shifting from what doesn't work to what I know does work. And vivid dreams. Katie's feeling it all. I am right there with you, Katie. That shifting energy of kind of putting new systems in place, or returning to old systems that I know work, even though I've been resisting them. You know, I'm also going through my Saturn return, definitely feeling that, but I'm happy to see that you are all kind of experiencing the same transformational energy. Oh, good. I'm so excited for you, Cass. Good transformation. Happy to see all of this positive energy in the comments. So let's talk about what's going on today. The moon is now in Libra, but it spent the morning in Virgo, and it made a couple major connections that I want to talk about. kind of tying into those insights and tying into the transformation. So I'm just going to jump back like 3 hours here because a lot of the connections were made early this morning. When the moon was still in Virgo, first it formed a trine to Mercury early this morning. I want to say 3 a.m. Okay, so if you woke up super early, you might have been feeling this, or vivid dreams could have carried some potent messages in them as the moon harmonized with Mercury while most of us were asleep. And then around 5 a.m., the moon formed that same angle to Pluto in Capricorn. So we have this, like, see this triangle playing out in the middle of the chart? That's called a grand trine. And it's all within a degree of each other. So this morning we were really feeling that, with the moon being the missing piece there. And Pluto, Mercury, and the moon were all connecting in this way as to say, okay, information can come through. Especially under the first quarter moon in Virgo, there is an analytical energy to this. There's a lot of processing and observation that we're doing, a lot of self-analysis, analysis of our emotions as well. And with Pluto retrograde coming into the mix, definitely bringing a level of intensity, of transformation, even reviewing our own transformation now that Pluto is retrograde. And Mercury just brings through thoughts, ideas, insights more easily in this trine. So profound realizations, profound downloads were possible either last night, maybe in your sleep, or this morning as you woke up. You might even still be processing these things as the day goes on today. And, it sounds like a lot of us are in this. I will say, a trine is a very positive angle. So it's not like these insights are going to feel like they're smacking you in the face or anything. It just feels like natural realizations that we're all having. And I love how the comments are reflecting that already today. Like, wow, I'm going through this good transformation, lots of shifts happening. Gabby says, I recognize that I need to relax when it comes to my commitments. Ooh, girl. I want to show up, but it needs to be sustainable. I'm transforming around the need to honor myself and my own joy. Yes, taking a moment to celebrate you, Gabby. What a beautiful realization as we're talking about these profound realizations. And Pluto has a lot to do with our power too. So I love that you talk about honoring yourself, finding your own joy, taking your own power back. With Pluto in Capricorn, it's really been transforming a lot of the structures collectively and in our own lives. And with the moon and Mercury connecting with Pluto, I personally have noticed over the past day or so, really coming back to and reviewing my own structures in my life and my own transformation. Like I said, so many of you are on the same page, which makes me so happy. So yes, profound insights, even breaking old habits. When the moon harmonizes with Pluto retrograde at 5 a.m. this morning, it's like showing us having this emotional awareness around what's ending, what's falling away. We're reviewing maybe some habits that we thought we had already gotten rid of that popped back up, things like that. And you're all just already aligned. Okay, so let's go back to right now. The moon has just moved into Libra. The moon is now at 0 degrees Libra. And when the moon is at 0 degrees, like, we're a little ready, we're a little antsy. We want to step into this energy. Libra energy, let's just talk about the Libra moon for a moment. We're under the waxing phase of the moon, the waxing gibbous moon. The moon is gaining light each night as we make our way towards next Tuesday's full moon in Sagittarius. So the moon in Libra is waxing. We are really refining, pushing ahead. But Libra is the sign of the scales, and it craves balance. And so as you're having these realizations, as you're coming or making your way towards the full moon, kind of putting all the pieces together towards this culmination point. This is the time in the moon cycle when we're trying to find a little bit of balance with the moon in Libra. So, the moon in Virgo could have had you in a very analytical space or really productive, making that to-do list, going after the things that you need to get done. We talked a lot about should versus could under the Virgo moon. Now that the moon is in Libra, it's a time to recalibrate, come back to center, find your balance. Yes, you set that long list of to-dos at the beginning of the week. Now it's the time to give yourself a little bit of grace and figure out what is, I love that Gabby said the word sustainable. What is sustainable? That is a great prompt for you under the Libra moon. What's going to feel harmonious and peaceful and give you the ability to keep doing it long term? Because we know when we push too hard, often we burn ourselves out. So the moon in Libra wants you to find balance, wants you to find harmony, get in a little bit more of a flow. Now, the Libra moon can also do this funny thing and make us play devil's advocate because we know Libra is the sign of justice, fairness, and it's represented again by the two scales. So one opinion here, one opinion there. We're kind of weighing different points of view. And a really beautiful way to use this moon is to see another person's point of view. And that can come through relating to other people, which feels a little bit easier under a Libra moon. So being around other people, hearing their perspectives. Relationships are our greatest emotional teachers in this lifetime, not just romantic relationships, but friendships, business partnerships. So opening yourself up to a friend or a partner's point of view can help you find more balance, see a situation from a more balanced point of view, even see your own emotions in a more balanced way, because you might be venting and sharing your emotions with someone else and getting their perspective, getting their devil's advocate perspective, if you will. Could be like, oh, maybe I am overreacting here, or maybe there's something I didn't realize that they were able to see from an outsider's perspective. It's like weighing your own judgment against another person's judgment before coming to conclusions. I encourage you to weigh your emotions against someone else's emotions before you come to those conclusions. So the moon in Libra, really leaning into our relationships, finding that balance within our own emotions, within our own routines and systems that we were really focused on under the Virgo moon. Now is the time to kind of, it's like the Virgo moon, you get going, you start the motor, you start the engine. The Libra moon is calibrating all the dials and everything so you have a smooth ride. Let's talk about what's going on with the Libra moon today, though. So the moon is going to just float through the beginning degrees of Libra until about 4 p.m. when it comes into an opposition with Jupiter. So once the moon hits about 4 degrees, we'll say 3, it's good enough, it opposes Jupiter in Aries. We know Jupiter's the great benefic. There's always a plus side when we talk about Jupiter, but when the moon is opposing Jupiter, anytime we have an opposition, as seen by these red lines here, anytime we have an opposition, it's like a make or break energy. So let's talk about the break and then we'll talk about the make. The moon opposing Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of excess, abundance, fortune. But we tend to, if we have an opposition to Jupiter, we can go a little bit overboard. So that's something to keep in mind. We're drawn to excess. It's almost like this magnetism when we have an opposition. And we see Jupiter in Aries. Jupiter in Aries wants to do the most and do it now, right? And so there's definitely this energy by this evening of excess, reaching for excess, being drawn to excess. And the scales of the Libra moon can easily be tipped with this opposition to Jupiter. So be careful. It's great if you're feeling abundant and outgoing, especially under the Libra moon. You're feeling social. You want to put yourself out there, maybe go out for cocktails or happy hour after work tonight. But it could be really easy to go a little too far. Now, let's talk about the make part, the positive side of this opposition. If you are someone who's been a little bit introspective or in your own cave, not really wanting to relate to other people, the moon opposing Jupiter can help push you outside of your comfort zone. We're more prone to sharing, whether it's sharing our emotions with the moon opposing Jupiter, sharing our resources, sharing our values, things like that. But we're more prone to sharing whether we like it or not. So there again comes in this make or break energy. So if we're lacking in any sort of relationships, socialization, this opposition can be really helpful to get out of our comfort zone, to be a little spontaneous, put ourselves out there, call in abundant energy. If you're feeling lack in any way, shape, or form, This moon opposition to Jupiter this evening is the time to just feel abundant, lean into abundance, let yourself be drawn towards it. But if you're already feeling yourself, just be careful not to go overboard under this transit. And then the final connection the moon makes today is at 8 p.m. It's not a major connection, but something to keep in mind because I just have a feeling this might come up for some people. The moon is going to form a square to Lilith when it hits 6 degrees. So right about here on our chart, the moon forms a square to Lilith in Cancer. Now, both the moon and Lilith will be in cardinal signs. And so it's kind of this instigating energy, especially when they have a square between them, right? Lilith is known as our inner bitch. It's the part of us that doesn't want to be controlled by anyone or anything. And the Libra moon, Libras are kind of known for being a little passive aggressive, right? Like not wanting to really get into conflict, but just saying enough to kind of stir the pot. You know what I mean if you have Libra placements. I have a Libra stellium, so this comes from a place of love. But with this square between the moon and Lilith, our bitchy side could come out really easily. It's like we want to relate under the Libra moon, right? But also with this square to Lilith and Cancer, we also want autonomy, especially bodily autonomy. We're just like, don't touch me. Like I'm in control of my space and my body, even though we crave connection, we crave relating under the Libra moon, but it's like, no. So this is tonight. We might feel this. It could be really easy to just unleash our wrath if someone questions our authority, questions our autonomy, our value, anything like that, our worth. It's like Lilith is right there, ready to go. And I've talked a lot about Lilith, but I did a video on Lilith and Cancer a couple weeks ago. So if your interest is piqued by talking about Lilith, go back and watch my video on Lilith and Cancer. It's on my YouTube page, or you can search my website. And you'll get a little more information because, Lilith she's fun to talk about. Now, also, I want to point out Lilith is not a planet. It's a point on the moon's orbit, the darkest point, the farthest point from Earth on the moon's orbit. So she kind of represents our shadows, the things that have been repressed, things that are hiding in the shadows. So it could almost be surprising with this square between the moon and Lilith. Like you're relating to your partner, you're like, or a friend, you're feeling it, and then one little thing sets you off and it's like, whoa, where did that come from? She was hiding in there? Wow. And even like, your intention, even if it's not your intention, a comment that's meant to be just a tad passive aggressive could escalate into a battle or a full-blown attack with this square between the moon and Lilith. If you channel this energy wisely, the moon in Libra can make us a little indecisive, a little bit unsure of ourselves, right? This energy, this square between the moon and Lilith, here's the positive. You can claim your power. You can claim your sovereignty. It's like stepping into authority and worth. So that can be really nice if you're feeling any sort of lack of self-confidence or not being sure about your emotions, how you feel. These transits with the Libra moon opposing Jupiter, squaring Lilith, can definitely help you claim that power again. There's definitely that energy, but also it's easy to get a little bit too fiery, too ahead of ourselves with these angles that the moon is making to Jupiter and Lilith. So claim your power, but don't go overboard. Don't get power hungry or let it get, to your head or let it get the best of you. So those are the transits that the moon is making today. No major connections among the planets today. Literally none. Not even planets within a degree of each other. We will be talking about, I believe it's Friday, we'll be talking about, you can see here, Mercury forming a trine to Pluto. That's starting tonight. So we're the energy of insights and realizations that we talked about with the moon, making a connection to those two planets this morning. You can almost think about that as kind of the jumping off point for these realizations, insights, downloads that are coming through. So whatever aha moments you've had about your transformation, expect those to compound. Expect to keep feeling more of that over the next couple of days, because Mercury and Pluto are now connecting to each other in our night sky and in this nice harmonious 120-degree angle. So it's like these transformational realizations, thoughts, even profound ideas coming through the rest of the week. Ah, look at that. I was born under a waxing Libra moon. My return is this evening. I love following the moon cycles based on my moon. I think it's so much fun because it gives you at least once a month, you're like, ooh, my lunar return. It's almost like a little birthday every month, you know? And it's just a nice awareness because, you know, I find a lunar return can be either like, yes, totally feeling myself, like almost a new moon energy personally, you know, like, yeah, this is me, this is my energy. Or sometimes if there's anything we've been avoiding, the lunar return can definitely bring a renewed sense of emotion and bring through some emotions. So I'm curious, Gabby, you'll have to let us know tomorrow or later in the week how your lunar return felt. My partner is a Libra sun. I LOL'd super hard when you said that. I'm assuming talking about something passive-aggressive or indecisive. But a Libra man. We love a Libra man. All of the Libra men I know are super sweet and nice, balanced men. All right, let's talk about our affirmation for the day, and then we will pull a card. So today's affirmation is, I am open to new energy. And the reason this affirmation came to me is because of that grand trine between the moon, Mercury, and Pluto this morning, and the energy we just talked about, Mercury and Pluto coming into this trine with one another over the next couple days, really inviting us to be open to these insights, open to these downloads, and open to the transformation that we're undergoing. The transformation is happening whether we realize it or not, but these next few days bring those realizations, bring a conscious awareness into the forefront of our mind of what's changing for us, what's changing within us. And so just staying open to new energy as it comes in, staying open to those realizations is going to be really helpful. And, you know, being open to new energy under the Libra moon as well can be as simple as being open to someone else's point of view, right? It can be that simple. So I originally wrote, I'm open to new information. And then I was like, you know what? Energy, new relationships, new insights from other people, new insights from spirit, new realizations in our own mind, just staying open to the new energy that's coming in ahead of this full moon. And now let's go ahead and pull a card. I'm going to pull from the Rose Oracle deck today. Felt very Libra with the Rose energy. I love Libra men, right? One of my best friends, her husband is, let me just shout out Evan right now. He's probably not watching and neither is Leah, but Evan is a Libra sun with a Cancer moon. Like, are you kidding me? Could you pick better placements for a husband? And he's just like the best dad, the sweetest man, truly. I'm just like, wow, you scored big time. All right, so as I'm shuffling these, this is your chance to ask any final questions. Maybe if there are a few things you're still seeking clarity on, this is your time to ask the universe, ask God, ask spirit, what do I need to know today? And if we all send enough energy towards these cards, I am confident the right message will come through. So let's all just take a collective deep breath. Here we go. Breathe in and release. What do we need to know? We got the Morning Dew card. Clarity, a fresh start, a positive outlook. I love how I said, we'll all get the clarity we need if we focus on these cards. And then Morning Dew, clarity, it says it right there on the card. So let's find the description for this in our guidebook. Here we go. Morning Dew. There is a special moment when the day is new and the sun's still young, when we too are given the opportunity to begin again. The presence of the morning dew welcomes us with the grace of a fresh start, and as the moisture gathers on the rose, it invites us to see things clearly, sometimes in a whole new way than we did the previous day. A new perspective is suddenly here. Healers from all corners of the earth believe in the incredible healing quality of the morning dew. They believe that it possesses the same healing properties as the plants themselves, with the dew capturing their essence and clear potency. Practices such as walking barefoot on the morning dew, drinking from the petals of flowers, and placing dew on the body are thought to bring about powerful shifts in healing. If we're lucky enough to meet the morning in this way, we too may be blessed with a special healing liquid that carries the secret essence of both the earth and the entire universe within it, the morning dew. This card brings the message that clarity is on its way. A new start and a change of perspective are possible. Shifts are coming. The future is looking renewed, hopeful, positive, and bright. Keep focusing on your ideal outcome and trust in the presence of the potent morning dew. And here's the affirmation or the transmission it gives. I'm open to receiving the potent clarity and shifts of the morning dew. I'm open to seeing this situation with new eyes. Echoing the affirmation that we just talked about, being open to new energy. How beautiful and perfect was that? Seriously, that was amazing. Being open to new energy. And as I was reading that, something else I want to remind you, it's talking a lot about shifts and transformation. So Mercury and Pluto are coming into a trine over the next couple of days. Those realizations, that clarity that the card talked about, but also Venus and Uranus will come into a conjunction, I believe, this Saturday. So that brings a shift in relationships, a shift in values, a change of some sort, even in money too. All these things ruled by Venus. There will be some sort of a shift, change, or disruption that's happening, coinciding this clarity. So this card not only talking about clarity, but also talking about shifts and a new energy coming in. Remember, Venus and Uranus are now coming into this conjunction, and these big changes to our love, our relationships, our money, our values are all possible as these two planets come together. I dated a British man who was a Libra sun, Cancer rising, and Virgo moon. Oh my gosh. I mean, the Virgo moon, little bit harsh, but everything else, wow. Wow. Let's just take a moment for the Libra placements here. Yes, the perfect card for today, you guys. Seriously, so beautiful. I am feeling renewed, refreshed today, really kind of embarking on a new chapter for myself. And I love that Gabby also talked about tracking her moon, because I've been really leaning into this and dreaming up, love British men. Okay, this is news to me. But anyway, I've been dreaming up, some sort of like month-long container where we all journal together throughout the month and track our own moon and sun and just kind of have a community. So let me know if you're interested in that. But I've been starting to do it for myself over the past few days. And, I always kind of know and track, since I'm tracking the transits, what's going on with my chart too. But I will say, the moon moving from my 12th house to my first house. Can we just thank the Lord for that? Because I was so sleepy and in this releasing phase, kind of just healing a lot and in my feels for the past couple of days. And last night, once the moon, or yesterday in general, once the moon moved into my first house, I was like, oh, okay, she's back and she's ready to step into the next evolution, the next version of ourselves. So, okay, Cass loves the idea. Rachel loves the idea. I'm thinking, don't hold me to this, you guys, but I'm thinking around the new moon in Cancer is when I want to start. Every time I talk about this, everyone's like, I'm in. So give me a week or so to just kind of think about it, and then I'll put something out. Yes, and having a community, like not me teaching you anything, just like, here's the template, here's what we're journaling every day. We're going to meet maybe like once a week or something, and just we'll all talk about what things we noticed about the transits, where they were in our chart, things like that. Same, yeah, moon moving into the first house. Give it a day or two, and I needed it. I needed the moon out of my 12th house. And I was actually talking with Court about, she's been dealing with a ton of 12th house transits. And I'm like, I'm not prepared for 12th house transits. Just the moon moving through my 12th house. I'm like, whew, emotional. Healing is happening. So it's a little preview of the next, I guess I don't have any 12th house major transits coming up. Thank you. But if you do, I feel you. If you're going through a major 12th house transit, oof, the healing, the emotions, I feel you. Yes, like a book club, but a moon club. Ooh, there's some marketing, branding there somewhere. Yeah, love that. Moon club. Katie's on board too. All right, everyone. This has been so lovely waking up with you all this morning. Remember, clarity is coming. If it's not already here, shifts are coming. We're in the middle of it. We're changing. We're evolving. Just stay open to that new energy. Thank you all for being here. I love you. I'm so grateful you showed up for yourself today. I'm so grateful you showed up for the community we're building in the comments. I will be back right here tomorrow morning to continue walking through this energy with you. But until then, stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.